Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome back to our channel once again. I followed the Gen Z protest last month on 25th of June very closely. And I remember coming to two conclusions for those who follow this channel very closely. That number one, if Raila Odinga supporters had joined that demonstration, probably the Gen Zs would have succeeded in occupying status. Because look at it from this perspective. They were able to go up to status girls. But Kibra did not join. Mathare did not join. What if they joined? What if Kisumu, Migori, and other parts of ODM strongholds had joined that protest? We'll be talking of a different story today. Probably the casualties would have been high. So that was the first conclusion I came to. And the second conclusion, which I came to at that time, which is going to form the basis of this analysis, was the fact that the mountain finally realized that they can actually stage a protest against the government. Because for a long time, Mount Kenya has always claimed to be very busy, especially during protest. I remember during our Azimio protest and ODM protest before, they would always create an image of business people, that they are so busy to participate in protest. And I remember concluding on this particular platform on that day that William Ruto was going to see fire moving forward. So I was interested in seeing how today's protests were going to unfold. Ladies and gentlemen, these scenes actually shocked me. Ladies and gentlemen, after today's events, I can clearly conclude that William Ruto and Mount Kenya are done completely. And if William Ruto is keen on being re-elected, he should forget, his game plan should forget about the mountain. Because the mountain is gone, and today is that day. Before we do that, for those who are watching this channel for the first time, please take a second or two, click that subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. And to the subscribers, I want to continue thanking you guys for your continued support. Because without that support, this channel cannot be where it is. Ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, allow me to explain why today marks the end of William Ruto and the mountain. Number one is police brutality. Over the weekend, Rigathi Gachagua said something during the burial of a relative. Listen into Rigathi Gachagua.
But our greatest concern, where we need help, is the decision that was made last Saturday in State House when the President summoned all the police commanders and ordered an onslaught and persecution of our community. And it has begun in earnest. Out of the more than 400 people who have been arrested, 92% are people from this region. On trumped-up charges, no evidence, nothing. Just as my aunt here had told me, that this community shall face persecution.
So what have we witnessed today? The truth of the matter is that demonstrations were actually conducted majorly in Mount Kenya, and police brutality were unprecedented in the mountain. What will happen after that? Emotions are going to be whipped. As a matter of fact, Rigathi Gachagua will now have a field day explaining to the residents of the mountain why and how William Ruto is actually persecuting the mountain, despite the fact that they actually woke up very early in the morning to vote for him. So the issue of police brutality is going to be a major factor in the mountain. Remember, previously, what used to happen is that we used to run hashtags. I remember running hashtags like Luo Lives Matter, Kisumu Lives Matter, because of the kind of brutalities which used to happen in Nyanza. So that's the first thing which is going to happen. Police brutality is going to be used by Rigathi Gachagua and his allies to whip the mountain against William Ruto. Number two, the politics of betrayal. William Ruto became the president of the Republic of Kenya in 2027 because of one thing: Mount Kenya votes. If the mountain had not voted for William Ruto, today William Ruto would not be the president of the Republic of Kenya. That is the fact. And William Ruto made a promise to the mountain. Several promises. One of them was that they were going to own the government. What are we seeing today? They're being clobbered, which means they don't own the government. What else are we seeing? According to Rigathi Gachagua, they are being removed from government.
So me, I can be persecuted, my children can also be. But for my community, we need help. Watoto wetu wote wamefutwa kazi. KRA amefuta watu wetu. Polisi amefuta watu wetu. Kila pahali biashara zetu zimeharibika. Juzi ametuma watu Nairobi wamechoma biashara. But our greatest concern where we need help is the decision that was made last Saturday in State House.
So there is a strong feeling in the mountain that William Ruto has betrayed them. Not because of any other thing, but that betrayal is as a result of working with Raila Odinga. Today there were demonstrations in the mountain. What about Nyanza? There were no demonstrations. Why? Which brings me to the third reason why Mount Kenya has finally dumped William Ruto beginning today. The Luo factor in William Ruto's politics. Do you think William Ruto was going to allow the Luo nation and the Kikuyu nation to speak in one language? There is no way William Ruto was going to allow that. That's why NIS are there. Today I was in the streets of Kisumu. I joined several bunge la wananchi, and clearly there is a narrative which has been created there, that the Kikuyus are demonstrating or are bitter with William Ruto, not because they hate William Ruto, but because they are Luos, or because Raila Odinga led Luos into government. That is the narrative which is outside there. The fact is, if the Luo nation and the Kikuyu nation were to work together, do you think William Ruto would have space today? He won't have space. So a wedge is being created. And that wedge will ensure that the Luos and the Kikuyus are not working together. I saw several flyers around town with several messages. Several of them. Up to now, nobody knows who printed them, but they were strategically placed in the streets of Kisumu to serve one purpose: a wedge between the Luos and the Kikuyus. And people have actually swallowed the bait. Number 4, and this is something which William Ruto should be ready for. Mount Kenya are on a revenge mission. They are revenging. They voted for this guy. They betrayed Uhuru Kenyatta. But they feel the guy has betrayed them. So they are on a revenge mission. And if they will not succeed in the current activities, then that mission will be accomplished in 2027. As we speak, Mount Kenya is very angry and very bitter for the simple fact that they believe or they feel that this government they placed in power, that without their vote, probably Ruto would not have been the president, which is the fact, because there's no lie there. So they're waiting to revenge. And lastly, there is a narrative in the mountain that William Ruto is destroying their businesses. That during Gen Z protest, the people who looted the shops in town were people sponsored by the government. There is another narrative which is also being created today, that the people who touched those specific businesses, supermarkets in major towns, were not locals. And the question which people were asking, I remember someone was asking, is from Homa Bay, that is it possible that, let's say, someone from Kisii or a group of youth from Kisii can be ferried to come to Homa Bay and touch, for example, let's say a supermarket there without the residents knowing. But that narrative is being advanced, that Ruto is actually sabotaging their businesses. And they're relating it to immediately William Ruto took office. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know what William Ruto will use to convince the mountain to vote for him again in 2027. That marriage has ended and it's better. Until next time, this is Lee Makwiny. Bye-bye.